So we had a young man that was interested in being a music major at our university, and we have one of the top, maybe five um, sacred music programs in the nation, maybe even in top 10 in the world. I had notified a couple of our music professors who agreed to meet me over in the music building so I could, serendipitously meet them and with the student. We walk in, and then one of our professors, who's our music historian, and he's a very gifted organist, musician himself as well, sits down with this young man. And I'll call the young man Jacob. That's not his actual name. And I just, like I'm a fly on the wall, and I sit and I listen to this conversation. And he says, "So Jacob, you're interested in maybe being a church musician?" Jacob says, "Yes." And he says, "Well, do you like children?" And he's like, "Where are you going with this?" And Jacob goes, "Well, I guess so. I mean, I help out. His dad was a pastor, and I help out in our church with Sunday school and VBS and things like that." And he says, "Well, let me tell you a story, Jacob." So this is a story within a story within the story, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So let me tell you a story, Jacob, of what a church musician does. A church musician has the incredible honor of being one of the first people in the church to teach the stories of God's word to young people through song. And song is a great gift from God. And when you accompany great stories with great music, it's very memorable, and it sticks and it lasts. And that child goes home and begins to sing that song on the playground and to his or her parents and siblings and others, and does not even realize that he or she is proclaiming the gospel and the stories of God's love to all the people around. And then you teach that child more songs, and as the child grows, eventually that child becomes a parent. And you know what that parent does, Jacob? That parent teaches the stories and the songs that you taught him or her. And one day, Jacob, that child is no longer a child, but is elderly and is on his deathbed. And he's struggling to even remember the names of his loved ones. But you know what he remembers sometimes even with his last breath, Jacob? He remembers the stories that you shared in those songs in his childhood. And sometimes they're the last words on his lips before God calls him home. Now, that's a story, And he says, and that, Jacob, is what a church musician does.